Podcast.
Welcome in, you cheap beggars, to Discount, the gaming podcast hosted by three people so cheap they didn't buy a single game in October. We all lied. My name's Josh. I'm plugging into Player 2.
I'm Darren, hello. And bruised and broken under the metric ton of games released this month.
It's me! It's Cerys. Hello.
So yes, lots of games this month.
Lots of games.
But yes, we're back. It's October. It's our Freeplay and Freebies episode where we reflect over the month and think about what we've played, what we've done, what's come out, what news. Was there a hate crime?
Who are we? What have we become?
What news?
What's news? All sorts of things. But yeah, it's basically, let's look back at October. Was it spooky? Let's hope it was.
Not yet.
Not yet.
It's not quite spooky week.
No, and it is
It's like Spoo.
Yeah, we're not on the K part this
Yeah.
week.
It's spoon, but not key. Door is still locked.
The door is still locked, yeah.
Yes, so it's October. It's we're recording this on the 21st, so
Yep.
just after the main wave of games have released. But we're going to do our normal stuff. We're going to talk about the news, then look at what we've played, etc. We didn't do one for September, but we're not going to worry about what happened back then. Let's just look at what happened this month by getting into the news.
Yeah, you're all sad because we played interesting games in September, but fuck it, here we are. Anyway,
I played interesting games in October.
I've played games.
Karis hasn't done that, but that's fine.
We've gone down the scale.
Reasons that I will explain.
But yeah, obviously, what we're going to start news-wise is the big thing that we've been talking about, I think, for the past year, maybe,
Yeah.
is Blizzard Activision have now finally merged
It happened.
with Microsoft for the cool price of $69 billion.
Hell yeah.
Oh, I didn't realise it was 69.
Nice.
Nice.
But yeah, they've it's finally gone through. It's all been agreed, and that's everywhere now because it was like UK was holding bits up of it, Europe was holding bits up of it, but now it
Yeah.
all seems to be sorted. The dust is sort of settling, even though there were some big Xbox leaks back in September linked to all this.
They already announced that the big shithead at the end of Activision is leaving.
Yeah. So it's
He's gone.
So it's, but I mean, it's good. It's
Yeah.
good news.
Only good news.
It sounds like Microsoft is clearing house of the difficult people, which is what they had to do to try and rectify this sale anyway, didn't they? To make it good in the eyes of the public. But there have been some things that I imagine, like, Cerys is not pleased
I'm
with.
not happy about it. I'm not happy about it.
Because it sounds
I'm
like
not happy.
Spyro and Crash Bandicoot are now owned
They
by
are now
Microsoft.
Microsoft properties. Yeah.
I literally, like, this is maybe controversial, but, like, I am not as bothered about Crash Bandicoot as I am about Spyro. I
mean, a better Crash game's come out in the past 10 years than Spyro.
Yeah, no, and that's fair. I think it's just like I played more Spyro as a kid, and
I mean, same.
No, it's fair
Yeah.
enough. It's strange that... It's not strange. It's good they brought it in because they now have these sort of single-player titles for Xbox.
They do.
And these are going to be exclusives, I would imagine.
Probably.
They haven't stated as such, but I would be shocked if they go, hey, everyone can have this. Although... I know we're all under the impression at this podcast that Microsoft are just here because they want to make games and make money that way. They don't really care about it. So if they've got more shares, they don't really mind. However, they need people to be buying their consoles as well.
Yeah, this is like I've said this I think since our very first podcast in that I don't think Microsoft want to make consoles anymore.
yeah,
I think they're just trying to collect games and then eventually just go, we're all Game Pass. Bye.
Do you remember
console
that
market.
cool Google Stadia? We're now Stadia.
They've already built up like that market on PC
Definitely.
as well with Game Pass. I don't think
Yeah.
they need the Xbox anymore. It's basically just a Game Pass machine.
It is really. It's no different to you having, you know, an old Freeview box or something that you
Yeah.
used to like use for your Netflixes and stuff like
Exactly.
that. That's what it was. So, but in reality, I do think it becomes Xbox exclusive.
Yeah, I think so.
I can't imagine a world where they don't do Spyro and Crash as Xbox exclusives. And it sounds like, I think you said, Darren, they want to revitalize a lot of the old properties.
Yeah, I know Phil Spencer, who's like the head of Xbox, came out and said, now that we have all of these sort of IPs and all these games under our Microsoft umbrella, there's sort of no blockers on perhaps going back to some of those older properties, because there might have been some holdups from like the shitheads at Activision.
Yeah.
Just saying like, oh no, this won't make money, this won't go ahead. I am under no illusion that Phil Spencer is not the same, but also he might just wing out a couple of random revivals for fun.
Yeah.
Guitar Hero, please.
I mean, I saw news that Guitar Hero was likely to be coming back as well from all this.
yeah.
I think it's going to be
I love
a
Guitar Hero.
remaster first. I wouldn't be shocked if they do a remaster collection of like
I think if they
Guitar
did-
Hero 3 and stuff like that.
I was thinking if they do like 1, 2, because those are, especially on like, if they were to do it multi-platform, 1 and 2, Sony-wise, are locked to the PS2.
Oh, are
I think
they?
Guitar Hero 2 is on the 360. But
3's definitely on the 360.
and 3
yeah.
was like the first big
Multi-platform,
one.
was it? Yeah,
People
it was.
liked 1 and 2,
Yeah.
but Legends of Rock, where you like,
It's-
it had Through the Fire and Flames, it had all like the celebrity guest
Barracuda.
stars.
Yeah.
It was the big one. Did you ever play 1 or 2?
No, I never
I
played
think
one or
Guitar
two.
Hero 2 has Freebird on it. Oh,
yeah.
The whole fucking solo.
Yeah.
I only ever played 3 from the, that's where I played them.
Yeah.
I would be excited to see it come back. The issue there is the music royalty licensing, where that falls in.
But I think if they were going to remaster any of them, they'd probably do maybe 1, 2, 3 as like a collective.
Yeah, I mean, do it like they're doing the Metal Gear Solid collections.
Yeah.
Just do a one
1, 2,
selection,
3.
one selection. 'Cause we now have more space for it. So
I've got to be honest. Guitar Hero was one of those ones that I always used to play like with friends when I was a
Yeah.
teenager, and I have to tell you this truthfully, as somebody who plays the guitar. There is nothing more infuriating than trying to play that game when you also already have muscle memory for
As
those.
someone who doesn't play guitar, I can tell you it's fine.
As someone who plays guitar, it's fine. The worst thing is they changed it when they released Guitar Hero Live
Yeah.
to be more like playing an actual guitar.
Yeah.
And as someone who can play an actual guitar, it got harder
Oh,
because it's hard to do quickly.
Yeah.
It's basically instead of the... Did you ever play Guitar Hero Live?
never played the live
Instead
one.
of the 5 buttons,
Yeah.
it's 2 rows of 3 buttons.
Oh shit!
And it's
okay.
a fucking nightmare to try and do quickly without
So they're just
looking.
trying to make you do
Chords.
properly.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But I think as well, I don't know why I was thinking about this the other day and that I have a fucking anecdote on hand from my own
Yeah,
mind.
go for it. Yeah.
I
From
feel
your
like
own mind.
Yeah. It wasn't something I just like created for this discussion. It's like I was actually thinking about. I don't know why. But like the original Guitar Hero I think gave more of the image of what you think of by like playing a solo by having like your hand goes down the neck of the
Yeah,
guitar.
yeah.
Whereas the live is more like actually doing
Yeah.
Yeah.
a hard sort of solo at the top end or like a riff or something. But it's harder to do and it's less satisfying to do than when you had like the long runs in 3, 4, 5, 6
Yeah.
where you're going like up and down the buttons
Yeah.
and all that.
What's most confusing out of this story is that you play guitar.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I had no idea.
Not well.
You don't strike me as a guitar
I
player.
play
for
it
some
terribly, but
reason. You strike me as someone who had a synthesizer.
I used to play the violin as well, but you didn't know that about me.
That feels more your speed.
Yeah, right.
I don't know
I
why.
think the only time I could properly play Guitar Hero was when it was a song that I had literally like never attempted to play before.
Yeah. That's
And
every
then,
Guitar Hero song for me.
you know, that was fine until people were like, let's do Through the Fire and Flames. And then, what? No, that is unholy and unhuman.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend that.
No,
but
Unholy's a different song.
But yeah, I'm excited for that. The big thing, though, obviously from this was Call of Duty was the big thing that was discussed in this this deal. It sounds like Blizzard properties are pretty much going to be cross-platform still. So you're going to keep your Overwatch, you're going to keep your your trying to think what else.
Diablo.
I almost said Blizzard again, but yeah, Diablo.
Keep
Things
your
like that.
Blizzard.
Keep your Blizzard.
Blizzard
but,
Ball.
PlayStation obviously wanted to make sure that Microsoft kept it cross-platform. Call of Duty is going to stay cross-platform, but the big thing is they no longer get their exclusivity deals.
Yeah.
So if you've got PlayStation right now, you get bonus free skins, you get some extra content, very minimal amounts. But he's come out and said that everyone's going to have the same experience. So they're not giving extra to Xbox or PC or anything like that. No one's getting anything extra. It's everyone's getting the same. So they can make more money.
I honestly think this is really funny because basically the reason PlayStation has that exclusivity is they paid a stupid amount of money like 15 years ago to have all this exclusive content, and then Microsoft in return bought the company. It's the image of like, do you know people talk about you take your ball home?
Yeah.
It's like PlayStation picked up the ball and took it home, and Microsoft like unrooted the nets and took those home. We're like, fuck you.
Well, if you can't play it without me.
It's like so petty.
I think it's really
Petty
funny.
behavior.
Where it's like, oh, we can't have exclusive content. Okay, the game.
Yeah, can we have the game?
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
But I do think like the cross-platform nature of Call of Duty was probably what was holding it up.
Oh,
lot of the agreements.
It was all to do with Xbox, because with Call of Duty, because of how big a franchise that is. There was such a cornerstone on the market. If Xbox had Call of Duty exclusivity, PlayStation would die a lot.
Yeah.
You know, no, I mean, I only know they're like single solo player games, but a console can't survive without an online presence.
It was the UK market thing, is they said it gave them too much of a monopoly in the cloud gaming space.
Yeah.
Basically, because Game Pass, like PS Plus Extra and Premium, Stadia, rest in peace, we're all trying to emerge.
Nintendo eShop.
I mean, the Nintendo, like, what's their fucking actual thing?
I can't remember.
They have an actual subscription service that is kind of that, but also not. It just has old
yeah.
games on it, which I love. And the Mario Kart DLC. Woo. But that was like, it's all a burgeoning market and they're all trying to find a foothold. And if Microsoft got fucking exclusivity to Call of Duty on their cloud platform, then fuck everything else.
Because like Call of Duty is one of those things that will sell 1 billion units.
Yeah, easy.
And it's easy money for them and they're locked in. And they can pump out the same thing each year and people will buy it. Look at me. But yeah, so that's all sorted. But I mean, to be fair, Call of Duty's been trying something recently. I mean, they've just released their Haunting thing where they've actually put some effort into stuff.
Yeah.
It's cool, yeah.
Which I showed Cerys some of it.
Oh my God, please, can I tell you? So last night, I was about to go to bed. I was very tired.
Good timing.
Yeah. And Josh was like, listen, I've got to show you like the spooky stuff on Call of Duty. So I was like, okay, no problem. And the poor boy went through probably about 20 minutes of trying to find a box.
It wasn't 20 minutes.
Listen, will you let me embellish the story like I'd like to?
It was 22 minutes.
Yes. Anyway, so he's going through and it's very much giving the energy of like, you know, when you're in like a park with a kid and they're like, look at me, look at me, look at me. And then you look at them and they do like a cartwheel and you're like,
I couldn't even jump out of a window. I got stuck on a window.
He got stuck on a window. Yeah. It was all very much. And then he found one. And when I tell you, I fucking shit myself because I don't know what I was expecting, but it wasn't fucking that. I literally just exited the room and was like, no.
It's weird. This time, so they did this sort of event 3 years ago.
Yeah, around then. It was during lockdown.
It was during lockdown. I genuinely think these spooks aren't as spooky.
They're not.
But the general setting is better. So they've like got ghosts in the sky and they've got some like cool things. You can fight the Butcher from Diablo in it. And also there's lots of fun little bits.
My favourite new area is the like sunken wreckage of the boat.
Yeah.
It's like the water around it has been pushed away. So you go down onto like the sea floor into
and there's like
boat.
shipwrecks and stuff.
Cool.
Yeah, they've done a good job, which is shocking because normally they're just asking for money and don't put much out there. So if they keep doing it,
the guy getting pissed off at him though because the guy had joined to play him and he was.
I was in duos.
Duos.
But to be fair, as soon as I found one you left, I picked everything up and we managed to finish. I think 6th on the day, so not too bad.
I've played like
I
5 games of it,
and
I found one jump scare.
Really one. Literally, the
one.
second you left, Cerys, I saw 7 boxes in a row. Fucking.
Imagine when you're going through and like picking everything back up. This poor guy was like, "What the fuck were you doing for the first?"
I mean, to be fair, it was early. The first circle hadn't even closed yet, so it was like I was looking for stuff, so he wouldn't have minded too
also,
much.
to be fair, it's Warzone. Yeah. I play with Josh, and I will look at him like, "Fuck are you doing?" I look at people I'm actively talking to like.
I like the fact you act like I'm the issue here, Darren. You're the one who sprints off in the opposite direction.
I wander off really badly.
If it makes any difference, I don't play this game with either of you, but I often routinely look at both of you and think, what the fuck are you doing?
I play Warzone like I operate on a night out in a club, where I just, at one point, are like...
Well, you don't play.
Off. I just wander away.
And you do that.
Yeah.
You do that.
Do.
You do.
But yeah, we have my sister to wrangle her. She's in the middle going, everyone stay calm, and me and Darren just sprinted off.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's Call of Duty. Big thing this month, I suppose, as well, is the amount of games we've had. And there's been lots of new releases and lots of them coming out. I mean, there was one that you were very excited for, Darren.
Is that the one that's yet to come out?
It's coming out, is it next week? City Skylines?
Yep. So, a lot of people are mad about this, and I think it's fine. I also think it's very funny. City Skylines 2 is meant to come out on the 24th, so it's going to come out Tuesday. And there's been...
The day of this podcast release.
Yep. There's been reports popping up that the performance is less than ideal. Because, obviously, it's a big game. It's a big city simulation game. They've put a lot of effort this time into operating, like, the individual people in your city, where you'll see them, like, go out and interact with the world. And they already delayed the console versions, because performance wasn't reaching the targets. they upped the recommended like specifications for your computer to play it, and those are high.
It seems shocking.
The recommended graphics card is a 3080.
That's ridiculous.
And then they came out and went, the performance is a bit off. It's fine, but it's not quite what we were hoping for. We're going to release it.
Okay.
And, like, we're sorry.
They shouldn't be releasing it.
I think it's fine. I think, honestly, like, the only way to get around this kind of performance issue and this performance metric is just to see how it operates. I think they need the bulk of people playing it to see where that slowdown is occurring. There's only so much you can do.
Yeah, I suppose.
In the design phase and in the, like, trying to develop it before you just go. And also, if it's like 3 days away, they're like, it's not hitting the targets, push it back. I imagine most people are A, not going to get their city to a size where this starts being a problem, or B, will just live with it.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's better to do that than to go, we're just going to push it back.
The thing is, as you said, they want to test it out. They can't do like a big closed beta because then everyone will fucking trash it and they'll get no sales. So I suppose their only real play right now is to
put it out
there.
I think the problem is when you get to like 100,000, 200,000 people who normally weren't going to get to that level will not get to that level. People who get to that level are the people like me who play strategy games, which fucking chug once you get 10 years in. So they'll just live with it.
Yeah.
I'll just fucking live with it. If it stutters a bit, I'll be like, whatever, it's fine.
Well, it's good. I'm glad you have that sort of feeling because not all games that have released have felt that way, and people have not felt that kind to them. For example, Skull Island: Rise of Kong.
It's a beautiful game.
Oh my god.
So we all thought
Game of the year.
We'd seen the worst game of the year come out. When was it? March? April?
I'm completely lost on the
Gollum.
time. Yeah.
But yes, basically Lord of the Rings Gollum came out. And Gollum looked like a potato with eyes and little strands.
And he looked worse in the game.
Yeah. But it was just terrible. An absolute mess, and everyone rinsed it.
As they should.
Fast forward to October, where every game is coming out. You've got your Spider-Man 2s, you've got your Nintendo Wonder, you've got Alan Wake coming out this month, you've got your Assassin's Creed,
Detective Pikachu.
You've got so many games that have come out. Lords of the Fallen
all
came out this month. And they went, you know what we'd like? We've been working on this game for 1 year. Here it is. Skull Island, Rise of Kong. Let's have a cutscene where there's just an image.
Oh my god.
My goodness. I've not seen anything this bad in a long time.
I love seeing a game that I've never heard of until it releases.
Oh, yeah.
It's always my favourite. Because I'm like, this is either smash hit of the year or absolute garbage.
But again, if we're talking about like character design as well, like we were talking about how fucking weird Gollum looked. Like the carrot. King Kong, I don't know what it is with the eyes on character design on both of these games, but they just look like you've stuck fucking googly eyes on a
it's kind of
rectangle.
off.
What's crazy is it looks worse than... Did you ever play Percy Jackson's King Kong game on PS2?
Oh yeah, that game's fucking rad.
That looks better. It looks better quality, better everything, and that's PS2.
Peter Jackson's.
What did I say? Percy Jackson. The lightning thief is there.
I actually did think for a minute, I was like, was there a King Kong in Percy Jackson?
I thought he was talking about like a Percy Jackson game, and then he said King Kong. And I went, my brain filled in like Jackson's King Kong. And I went, correct.
Yes.
His name's not fucking Percy.
I mean, if he
Peter
did,
Jackson's King Kong.
if he did, it'd be a very different film.
That game's fucking great.
That game's great, and it
awesome.
works really well. This looks worse than that, and it's 20 years on?
Nearly,
2 consoles later?
Nearly. 3 consoles later. That was a PS2 game.
We're on 5. Josh, good maths, Josh.
What you didn't see was him literally counting on his fingers.
I couldn't work out which way you were missing one.
Yeah, I missed out the PS3 because I didn't own the PS3, so in my head that didn't
2, 4,
exist.
5.
Yeah, I always went 2, 4, 5.
This way you taught English.
I didn't have it. They forwarded.
I taught Keris maths, so that explains a lot.
No, you didn't.
I didn't. I'm agreeing, even though I did.
Great game.
But it was a good game. This is an absolute mess. Like, they put no graphics. I'm starting to think that this is a deliberate ploy by I don't know who put it out there, don't know who's there, but to go, look, this is what happens if you don't let us delay games. And they've gone, look how bad games are. We know this is going to be an absolute mess. It's all a conspiracy. So much so the aliens are coming. I don't know if it's been picked up on the mics. Beep! They've caught us. They've worked it out. But it feels like it's one of those things. They've gone, look, this is what happens if you don't let us just delay the game.
Yeah.
It feels weird. You know, like I can't work out how it got through any sort of allowances to get onto games.
That's the thing. Someone
Quality
had to
control.
approve it. It's not like the Nintendo eShop, where it might be like the Nintendo eShop, where you can just go like, yeah.
But you can buy a
into the
physical
world.
copy of this.
Exactly. This had to go through someone who should know better. This is the same problem I have with the fucking Harvest Moon. Also, new one of those came out. It's apparently good. Who knew?
By that same...
By the
what?
same company. It's apparently good.
Right.
I kind of want to try it to see if they're lying.
They're lying.
But for it to have a physical copy, someone should have known better.
Yeah.
Someone had to have played it to give it a rating.
I'm fine with the developers playing it and being really proud of it because they don't know better. That's fine.
Yeah.
Someone between that stage and it releasing should know better.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
But also, fuck, it's funny, innit?
The thing is, I really want to play it. I really want to play Gollum.
I want to play Gollum.
But I don't want to spend the money to play
Yeah.
him.
I'm really hoping between now and the end of the year, Gollum releases on PS Plus
Yeah.
so I can play it.
I really hope that someone has a copy of Kong and will willingly give it to me to play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm hoping for. I'm not that this is a plea. If you have a copy of Kong, give it to me.
If you have
no, give
a
the game to
copy-
me. Don't. It's not a weird. Come on.
You'd have to stream it.
Oh, I would.
You'd have to stream
Also,
it.
if you have a copy of Kong, seek help.
Yes. But yes, so we've had terrible games, and yeah, as we said at the top, this month has been absolutely awash with
Yep.
loads of
Yeah.
game releases.
Too many.
The last two games of the old Mario voice actor going forwards, we have a new voice actor for him.
It's not Chris Pratt, is it?
No.
It's some guy.
He's,
I can't remember.
he's
his
an
name.
actual voice actor. He's done
Yeah.
quite a few. He sounds good from what I've heard. So
Yeah.
Do you know that Chris Pratt said Mario's not Italian anymore? He's normal now.
that sounds right.
He's just thinking.
That mean?
He's thinking of Italic.
Oh my god.
Mario isn't even really Italian. He
He's from
speaks
Brooklyn.
Japanese as well.
He's from Brooklyn
Why does he speak Japanese?
because he's cultured.
Yeah.
That's unlike Chris Pratt.
He's just a very, very intelligent little plumber.
He's actually just a fucking weeb.
He's got a body pillow.
Mario's a weeb.
You say that, I guarantee he has a peach body pillow.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Yeah.
No, he's got.
She's in another castle.
He's got peach. But he has like a Rosalina body pillow.
Oh,
yeah.
yes. Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, makes sense.
I instinctively went to say this is going to get cut, but no, I didn't.
No.
This is gold.
But yes, that's what's happened this month on the news side. And let's go have a little look at what we've been playing. Let's do a very quick roundup of what we've been playing. Karis, what have you played?
I haven't played anything apart from podcast games. In my defense, I literally just completed my master's. I put my dissertation in like 2 weeks ago-ish.
That sounds like a terrible game.
I have just been bogged down with teaching. So it's the first half
I
term. It's the
can't
worst
believe you've been
half term.
playing Second Life this entire time.
Yeah.
Like that.
So just podcast games for me. I haven't played anything else. I'm sorry.
But you have enjoyed Yakuza Like a Dragon.
Yes. Oh my god, that was so much fun.
Enjoyed
Really
the
good
stream
game.
bit.
Really good game.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
so much fun when I streamed that. I had a great time.
I've never seen someone so invested in the opening scenes of a Yakuza game.
It's one of the ones that I want to go back to for sure. Just because I just enjoyed the story. I just thought it was batshit. It was great. It was awesome.
Nice. I like it.
So you've played nothing. Darren?
I'm going to rapid fire run down some games. I've played a lot of absolute like mid-tier games this month. I went back and finished Talos Principle from last season.
Which I did
I found
enjoy.
it slightly less annoying as it went on because I kind of got it. I was
Right.
getting annoyed with the computer questioning me, but that's entirely the point.
You meant to hate the computer,
It's
yeah.
meant to be in this very, very tortured metaphor for the Garden of Eden. It is the snake.
Yeah.
So it's meant to twist you in knots, which I started to appreciate as I went on, but I still hated the rest of it.
Is it? Do you view it better than you did before?
Slightly.
Would it have done better in that episode? Maybe.
No.
Okay.
I feel slightly less infuriated by it, but I still don't think it's that
I remember which one that was for. That was for
good. First person, not shooter.
first person
So it's
non-shooter.
against Ghostwire and
I
D&D.
almost thought about. I thought it was for religion. So.
Could have been. I played I went back and have played more of Judgment.
Oh yeah,
That
you did
is
say
a very
that.
fun game. That
Yep.
story's starting to unfold. It's really good. I can also attest to what you were saying about the opening of Yakuza games, because I completely unintentionally sometimes just glaze over when the cutscenes are going.
Yep.
And when I come back in, I remember they're in Japanese. And so
I'm taking nothing in.
I can't just from like passive listening work out what the fuck it was about.
You get the general intention because you got like highs and lows and the voices go, well, I imagine that was a positive interaction that
So
I've just listened
I
to.
hope that was nice. I got another platinum for my alphabet card. I platinumed Far Cry Primal. That game's fine. I have nothing else to say about it. It's perfect.
Where is it rank in the Far Cry games?
We're
We're talking about from Far Cry 3 onwards, not like the first.
from 3 onwards.
So which one's your best? Which is the best of the Far Cry games? Is it?
It's 3 or 5,
Yeah,
I would say.
that's right.
They're my top 2.
Yeah, 3, 5, then 6, 4, and then Primal. Where does it fit? Is that the order you'd put 3, 5, 6, 4?
Probably, yeah. It's towards the bottom. New Dawn is, I think, in between 6 and 4.
Okay.
Primal might be at the bottom, but it's not bad.
A lot of people shout
Also,
on Primal.
Blood Dragon is also up there somewhere. It's probably between 5 and 6.
Yeah.
I fucking love
It's
Blood
the
Dragon.
third one. It's the
Very
third one.
funny.
But yeah, so
It's
absolutely fine.
perfectly mid.
Okay.
It's whatever. It's the Ubisoft sandbox where I completely turned my brain off.
Far Cry has a real problem. Like, it is cut and paste, really, of the last one, and it's whether you get engaged with the character or not. It's
Yeah.
really easy just to wander about and do shit in it
Yeah.
and not really care about the consequences.
It is like vaguely interesting. The biggest problem I have with it is because it's from way, way, way in the past.
Yeah.
Of course, you have to have subtitles on because everyone speaks in caveman language, which I just found very annoying in the end. Because I'm like, why go through the effort?
Of creating a language.
Yeah. Like,
The
I'm
creator of Simlish would like to talk.
That's fine, because for Simlish, they're trying to make it so they don't have to actually work out what they're saying.
Yeah.
You can
Here,
just in tone, yeah.
they have actually worked it out because there are subtitles and they're important, so why not just have them fucking speak
Yeah.
Why not
English?
even speak, like, basic English, basic broken
Yeah,
English?
I'd like that more.
Yeah.
This just annoyed me.
Me unhappy, you eat owl.
Yeah. Because that's
I don't know why I assume
No,
they were eating owls.
here's the thing. That's basically how they speak anyway, in the subtitles.
Really?
So why not just speak like that?
Yeah.
Why not? I finished the Kingdom Hearts rhythm game.
Oh, platinumed?
Not yet. Not yet.
are
It's
you-
got a very grindy platinum to it. That is really fun.
Okay.
It gets real fucking hard towards the end.
Better than Guitar Hero? As they're both rhythm games, and you're...
Different.
Yes.
This has a lot of like. I would also attribute it more to
Crypt of the
cult
Necrodancer.
classic DJ Hero.
Oh, yes, okay.
It has like 3 buttons you press, and it's more based around like you have to press 2 together, or you have to go like one to the next, or hold them. You have like glide sections where you also need to be pressing the buttons.
Yeah.
It gets real fucking hard towards the end,
Right.
because some of those Kingdom Hearts songs go fucking hard.
Is it, would you say somewhere along the line, I said Crypt of the Necrodancer as a
It's
thing,
not
but I don't know how it
that
looks.
hard.
Okay.
It's basically like a Guitar Hero kind of
Right.
thing. It has like the notes coming at you, but they're the
It
enemies.
actually a clear sort of, yeah, that's cool.
The only hard part of it is that because the enemies are moving to give it a bit more reality, if you are not completely tuned into the beat, it's really fucking hard because you don't know how fast the enemies are coming
Makes
at you
sense,
to press
yeah.
the buttons. And really the last game I've been playing this month is Marvel Spider-Man 2 for like an hour.
And I've also been playing Marvel Spider-Man 2. Do you want to talk about that now before I talk about the other games?
Yeah,
let's
let's go
talk about
for
it now. We're not going to do any spoilers or anything like that because like this is going to come out a few days after it comes.
People will still be playing it.
Still playing it. I mean, social media is already a fucking nightmare. It's like everyone going, look at my pictures, look at my pictures. I'm like, I don't want to see spoilers of who I'm going to be fighting or anything like that already. But
All I've seen of it so far is I saw one thing marked spoiler, but I
Yeah.
knew what it was because I'd already seen it.
I had one person who I know, I watched them stream and stuff, put spoiler beforehand and then a countdown. So it's like you have
Yeah.
the option to scroll past. And I was like,
Yeah.
that's fine. It's just people go,
this is-
look, I want a picture of like me first. And you're like, oh, all
Yeah,
right.
this is slightly, well, it's on topic, but it's not, I guess, is that I do feel like because people are so pressured to put out so much content that
Yeah.
spoilers in general have gotten really bad. Like, I managed to scroll past it really quickly, but like not Spider-Man. In fact, a series, we've been watching The Fall of the House of Usher on Netflix. And I noticed like people are so eager to get likes and stuff.
Just response in any way.
Response that I was finding like people were making edits of like characters and stuff, and I was like, whoa, like I'm gonna find
It's out in a week. It's only been out for a week.
I think part of the problem there as well is it's a big thing in sort of today. It's not just getting that likes. It's that people want to talk about things and they want to engage about things.
Yeah.
So they just want to be like, I have watched this thing. I'm going to put it out in the world because I want someone to talk to me about it.
I'll be honest. I don't think this is actually as bad as it has been. For spoilers, I think people are a bit more reserved on this. The last time I think there was a real problem was Harry Potter, what was it, Hogwarts Legacy, but that's because of all the controversy around it. People were like, I'm going to spoil it just to ruin it for you. So we weren't at that point. Fortunately, it's not that bad, but yeah.
Last of Us also had a big spoiler thing. Last of Us 2 when that came out.
Yeah, I somehow missed it, which was really good.
I nearly got into a fight in uni once because some really annoying girl spoiled Game of Thrones on Facebook.
That sounds right.
I was annoyed.
You've missed it, have you, Darren?
I've watched it all. I've read all of it.
Yeah.
You're not missing much.
You have the spoilers. You read the book.
If it's like the big spoiler that happens right in the middle, I get it. If it's anything after that, it's kind of fucking nothing.
As I said, there's no set thing. Like in my mind, I wouldn't post any spoilers for Spider-Man until about 2 weeks afterwards.
Yeah.
Even then, I would be cautious. Even when I post things, right? But Spider-Man, so far, if you
really
like
good.
Marvel Spider-Man, you're gonna like these. It's more of the same with a bunch of extra bits in there, which works. So you're able to switch between Miles and Peter, which is fun, just on the fly. There are specific, so you haven't got to, there's specific missions where you have to be Peter or Miles, or you can be either, which is good. So you have the choice if you have a preferred character, or like there's specific trophies linked to each person where you have to fight people using a certain skill only one of them has. If you're lower on one, you can choose to do those missions to try and bump up, which I like. And there's also interactions in the world where if you like crimes, so crimes are back, which is good fun. There are points where you can do crimes, and the other Spider-Man might come in and interact.
Yeah.
Overall, it's a good, fun time. I've had that smile on my face playing it. I don't know how else to describe it.
Yeah. As I say, the only spoiler I saw was related to if you do a crime that one of the other ones. Yeah. Exactly that.
I saw a really, really good thing.
I love it. I fucking giggled.
Yeah, I laughed so loud I then had to come in and tell Cerys about it. So we're not spoiling it, but the fact that I was able to show what it was without doing it, you can work it out.
Lauren was sat like next to me and it happened. I went, look.
Look at that. Yeah, it's so good.
Did you guys see there was a post on Reddit?
Is this about Spider-Man?
There's two, but they're both about Spider-Man. And
you ruin
one of
anything.
them was like, no. It's a funny thing. That he'd come home and his girlfriend was like, hey baby, I got you a present. I know you really wanted Spider-Man 2, and she'd got him the Spider-Man 2 that was out on like PS2.
To be fair, also a good game.
And he was like, oh, she tried. And then you can catch this bit because the
how did she find
I think that's harder to find.
Yeah.
She must have just seen it in like a CEX or something. I don't know.
I reckon that's more expensive now.
I reckon people are holding on to that.
I don't know. I reckon
like an all-time beloved.
And then somebody said that they'd ordered Spider-Man 2 on Temu, which is like...
Oh, yeah.
But like, I was like, do not order Spider-Man 2 on Temu.
Amazing.
It's Spider-Man doing like a twerk.
It's almost like a twerk on the front.
I like that
looking sexy.
Yeah.
There was reviews that came out and people's biggest complaint
was it about an 8, isn't it, at the moment on IGN and stuff like that? Everyone's giving like a solid...
It's between 8 and 10. I think on Metacritic it's settled at either very low 90s or very high 80s. I don't know exactly where it's at. But the big complaint so far is that it doesn't do that much differently from the first.
No.
But if I thoroughly enjoyed Spider-Man 1 and you tell me they are releasing a Spider-Man 2, all I want from it is to be more of Spider-Man 1.
Yeah.
Like, don't reinvent the wheel. If it's the game I am after, if you're releasing a sequel to a game I liked, if I'm playing that sequel, I just want more of that.
Yeah.
I want more of that game with new events and new villains and new characters and new stories.
And that's it. I mean, the good thing about Spider-Man, there is so much stuff with Spider-Man, so many villains, so much to do with, and you can twist the stories a little bit here and there and make a whole new world. And what it's done is put in a few extra gadgets, put in a few little bits like this. There are a lot of games that go, you really like this first one. Oh, you like this bit. We've actually just expanded that bit massive, and they break it and they go too far and it doesn't work. This is a game that's gone a little bit bigger and it's done everything it needs to still be fun and good.
Yeah.
I just think, I mean, we could probably come up with some examples of this, really.
Of like the sequel breaking it.
Yeah.
The sequel I always have in my mind is Jak and Daxter to Jak 2.
Yep.
Where Jak and Daxter 1 is a cool like Spyro-esque platformer,
Yeah.
open levels, go around collect fun. And 2 is like a GTA clone.
Yeah.
And I hate it.
Yeah,
I
I
love
didn't
Jak
like
and
that.
Daxter 1. Sly Cooper is similar, but 2 isn't too bad.
I mean,
that changes from mission-based to open world.
Yeah, I think
that's okay.
I think that's a good example. I mean, I was going to use an example. I'm going to use it anyway. But, going from maybe Shadow of Mordor to Shadow of War.
It changes it quite a bit.
It
goes
changes
from a
it too
compact
much
format to
too expansive. Whilst this still feels closed in enough, it still feels the same. They've increased the way you can travel. They've made it so it's faster to travel if you want to get around places. So it works. It doesn't feel it. And they've and not to do anything too big, but like the crimes and stuff. The car, the car crime was always a bit of a fucking nightmare to do. They've simplified it massively. So I'm like, great. But like overall, I think they've done well. I've actually died a couple of times. Like I wasn't expecting to. I got overwhelmed when they brought in the parry thing, which I wasn't expecting.
I haven't yet. I've got very, very close.
I died twice at the same point because I just forgot about parrying being a thing.
Yeah.
And I died. But outside of that, you're like, cool, this is good fun.
It's just more Spider-Man. It's what I wanted from it.
I mean, I'm going to have 30 to probably 40 hours of good fun with this game, get the platinum, and
Exactly.
that's what I wanted from it.
You're going to have a lovely time.
So yeah, talking about fun games where I'm going to have a good sort of 30 hours of fun and a platinum. I had Assassin's Creed Mirage this month as well, which I played, which is very much a callback to the old Assassin's Creed, but you're playing as Basim this time, and instead of joining, the assassins, it's the hidden ones because the assassins haven't technically started yet. It's still that early stage of them. It's good fun. I mean, they've really simplified it. They've gone away from the big RPG elements. You very much are. You have this. You do have a skill tree that you can work out, but the way that skills work in this is you have your throwing knives, and then you can build up how you want your throwing knives. You've got a choice of 1 of 3 in level 1, 1 of 3 in level. It makes more sense. It feels more like I'm being an assassin. I'm being sneaky. I'm crouching round. I'm jumping down on things. I'm planning out how I'm going to assassinate. I'm not going to take on masses of people in the street. I have to run around. I have to pull posters off to try and hide myself. I have to pay people off. Everything feels like an old Assassin's Creed game. So much so you can have the old Assassin's Creed filter on if you want to, or remove it. It's entirely up to you.
That's like blue filter.
Yeah, you can have that again. And that's the thing. It feels like I'm playing an old Assassin's Creed game in there. At no point am I going, this is the best game I've ever played in my life. But I'm going, you know what? I'm having fun. I'm clearing a map. I'm killing people. I'm being sneaky.
Yeah.
And that's what I want from this. And it does it so well. It does exactly what I wanted.
I feel a lot about Assassin's Creed is I've played most of them.
I think I'm missing maybe 2.
I'm missing a couple of them, I think. I wouldn't say any of them, if I had to rank every game I've ever played in order. None of them are up there.
Yeah.
But probably in that 30 to 60, 30 to 70 range, you could probably fit all of them in there.
I don't think any of them are bad games.
None of them are world changes, but none of them are bad.
I will say as well, this is potentially the best release they've ever had for an Assassin's Creed game. I didn't have a single bug or glitch or anything along those lines. Unlike the old stuff they used to have.
I was going to say, recently is probably what you mean.
Oh, recently, but I mean,
Up to a point, it was fine, and then it got really bad.
Unity's where it went horribly wrong.
Which is a shame.
Syndicate went wrong. Unity's one of the best ones.
It's one of the best ones. I played it after they fixed everything, and it's great. It's an amazing game.
But I felt like I was closer to the Ezio's, but not in quality. The Ezio trilogy is the best. It's the peak of the peak. Yeah. But this felt more like I was back doing Altair stuff like that. I felt like 1 and 2 and 3, which is where I want to be with Assassin's Creed. And it's great fun. I think a lot of people have gone, well, it's not doing anything new. No, but that's the point. This is meant to be the throwback one. Next, we'll have the big open world one in China, I believe, is coming, which is going to be cool. Which is going to be pretty cool. And then they're going to go back to another one like this. And if that's the way they rotate it, I will be very, very happy.
Yeah. There's the Spooky Witch one in development at the minute.
Oh, is
I want
there?
to see what happens with that.
I've not heard anything about that.
It's called, it was codename Hex, I think it was called.
Ooh.
Oh, is it taking place in Salem or something like that?
It's no, it's not. It's Germanic witch trials.
Oh,
I think.
Ooh.
They haven't said anything else about it. They announced it at the same time they announced Mirage properly and the China one.
Listen, I've never played an Assassin's Creed before. I played the shit out of that. I do
Sounds
that.
super cool.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for more on that one.
Yeah, I'm looking for. This did lack a few things, like you can't really like you pay people to blend in the crowds and stuff like that. There was little bits where I'm like, nah, and some of the trophies are a bit like, you know, you have to pull down a structure 20 times and stuff, where you're just like, well, I'm just gonna have to farm a spot.
It's a Ubisoft trophy list,
and you're like, well, all right. But overall, I had a good time. I think I got the platinum in under 22 hours.
I mean, after Valhalla, that's fine.
Yeah, Valhalla, I got in a club at 110 or something like that. Yeah. And the other game I just want to talk about briefly, because I didn't talk about before, is Lies of P. I finally got the platinum on that. I mean, that only came out in September, but as a Souls-like, it might be the best Souls-like that has come out. It feels great. Everything's good. Some of the bosses are a bit fucky and hard, but they're not like, we're broken. It's more like, I mean, some of them you're like, oh, I've just fucked it. I fucked it, and you're dead in one shot. You're like, well, that's my bad. The New Game Plus run was rough on 2 or 3 bosses, but it's fine. You find a way to work. There is a way that you can get round stuff, but I wouldn't say, like, you know, like a Souls game like Dark Souls, there are normally like cheese strategies.
Yeah.
There are less cheese strategies that like you can't go, I'm going to stand in this corner and you can't reach me. Poke, poke, poke. This is very much like, oh no, your cheese strategy is, this is going to be your build. Get good with this build in this fight or you're going to die.
It's less like broken, more over punishing. It will just fuck you up if you're not playing perfectly.
And there are points where you think, oh, I've got this. But I think my issue was I was playing Sekiro at the same point, and like they were opposite buttons. So like heals up on Sekiro whilst it's square on Lies of P, and L1 is perfect block, but actually I need to dodge more in this. And it's like, oh great, this is. So I was just going between the
different
two.
Games. You're trying to like,
I was fucking myself for it. But I would really recommend Lies of P. Really good story, really fun. It looks like they're setting up for a sequel, which is fun.
Lies of Q.
Lies of D is what I'd reckon it'd be.
Okay. Dinocchio.
But I'm going to say that if you work out what it is, who knows? Maybe it's something else. Don't worry. And then there's also looks like there's spot for. If I was doing, I think there's a clear point where there's going to be DLC area. But we'll see if they do anything with it. Will I go back to it for that? I don't know. I think it took me about 80 hours to platinum on just 2 runs, and if I'm being honest, I think 20 to 25 hours was spent on maybe 3 bosses.
Okay. That's not too bad.
No.
That probably balances out to like 60 to 70.
I would say
which is fine.
I would say this is probably a 60 hour platinum if you're better than me, which most people are. So recommend that, and that's really good. But yeah, should we go and have a little look at PS Plus and see what's going on with that? So PS Plus for October this month. Good or bad?
I think good.
All right.
A lot of heavy hitters.
I would say it's very small this month. There's a lot less in it. It's more intense what they're going with. I think for the most part, they are good games, though. There's nothing in there I'm going, apart from one game where I'm like, that's shit. The rest I've gone, these are all good or bad or better. It's a good month in my mind.
Normally when we come to these lists and we're sort of rating our top ones, you rate just a lot of games that are very middling in quality in the order that you're most interested in. This one was very much like bang, bang, bang at the top, and then sort of blankly staring at the rest of the list like, fucking hell. Yeah, everything's much of a muchness.
I'll be honest, with ones I was looking at going, I know this is a good game, I know this is a good game, I've played this game or something like that. And the other ones I'm looking at going, I don't know, let's watch some trailers, let's get some, this looks cool.
I'm normally looking at everything about the same level, and this was like, there's like 3 or 4 fucking absolute blockbusters at the top, and then...
But I wouldn't. But the thing is, I don't think this is diluted as much as like other game months. You go, what was it last month? Was it Sea of Souls or something?
Sea of Stars.
Yeah.
No, not Sea of Stars. What was it? There was a whole series that came out.
Oh, Star Ocean.
Star Ocean. That's it. Sorry. Star Ocean came out and went, here you go. Here's every Star Ocean game. We've done our bit. Here you go. Here's 20 games. 17 are from one series. And you're like, well, fuck off.
It was also like they dropped all the Star Oceans, and then the same month dropped 13 Sentinels and Nier.
Yeah.
And we're like, Weeb month.
Hey guys, step away from your body pillows and come play some games. Whilst this month is a bit more spooky, I would say.
Yeah.
But overall, it's like, hey, here's a bunch of a variety of games, plus some games that people will say, this is one of the best games you'll ever play, and other games people go, this is a pretty good game. Give it a shout.
Yeah.
Also, a game that's apparently not very good, but I'm looking forward to playing because I didn't want to buy it.
I don't know if that's one that I've already talked about to you in the past, or I've platinumed, or is it a different game?
Different game.
Fair enough. Should we talk about the games we're going to champion then? Which games do we like? Maybe not the most, maybe other people have chosen the game we're going to champion, but the game we think you should play most. I think we'll start with Darren, because Darren stole mine.
Cool. Do you want to talk about a spooky month? How about forcing you to look at your own worldview and perception of the people around you? Because I would like to champion Disco Elysium.
It's
a phenomenal game. For those who aren't aware of it, you start out the game as Detective, I believe his name is Harry Dubois.
Something like that, yeah.
Except you don't know that because you have amnesia. All you know is that you've woken up hungover as fuck in your hotel room, which is trashed.
Yep.
The game,
you have to find all your items of clothing.
You have to find all your clothing. The gameplay basically runs a bit like... It's a bit sort of D&D-ish. It's all based on dice rolls, and you have your stats. And that basically determines the roll you need to beat to get like the correct check or to get information out of someone. A very famous example of it is if you put too few stats into your physical ability, your tie in the hotel room is hanging off the ceiling fan, and if you fuck the roll, you can overexert yourself and die. That's the end of the game.
Yeah, it's really interesting. There's like, is it 6 trees?
Yes.
Essentially, like umbrellas, and then you get other things underneath, and they aren't quite clear in what they do.
Yeah.
It'd be sort of like a little bit vague, and you're like, oh, it's almost more like inference what this will help you with.
Yeah.
And yeah, you put your stats in, you roll, you hope for the best.
Some of them are very good, some of them are not very good. There's one I cannot think of the name of, which is basically like the inference skill, where you can see like the writing between the lines.
Yeah.
And that is the best stat in the game. You put like 4 into that off the fucking bat every time. And a lot of your physical stuff you don't bother with because there's like no combat, and any combat there is, you can probably get around it.
It's cool. So it's isometric in style, I would say. Yeah, it's that, but it's also watercolor painting.
It's really interesting stylistically, and everyone sort of looks a bit gross.
Yeah,
it's very much drawn and animated like it is some backwater like port town, and everyone looks a bit kind of rough. Basically the story is you are Detective Harry Dubois, and you eventually meet up with your partner on the job, Kim Kitsuragi.
I believe Kim Possible, but that's definitely wrong.
Nope. Basically you are there to solve a murder. Someone has been lynched out the back of the place you are staying, and you are basically trying to work out what happened. So you go around and you talk to various people. You can decide your worldview on the fly. You can decide you're a communist. You can decide you're an anarchist.
It's Kim Kitsuguri. And Kitsuragi. There we are.
And basically you determine at various points the kind of person you want to be.
Yeah.
A good example is, what's the name of the dickhead kid in the back? The little ginger kid.
I want to call him Pig, but that's not right.
That's what he calls you.
Yeah.
He's got like a really short name.
It is something like...
But he's basically a little shitbag.
Yeah, a little fuckhead. He's a real dick.
He's there to properly like provoke you. And you can decide how you want to deal with it. You can ignore him. And one of the options is you could just punch him in the face.
Yeah.
Nice.
And it's heavily...
Yeah, no, go ahead.
It's heavily implied that his dad is abusing him. Right. So if you punch him in the face, he's like, oh, I see. That's how we are, is it?
Yeah.
All right, then.
And he basically turns it in on you. But you can also go to punch him in the face and miss and look like a tit. But then you can also do... It's all this...
It's a pathway where you can recruit him to the police force.
Oh,
yeah.
Nice.
It's really cool. It's really in-depth. So it's got like 4 main sort of ideologies that they do in there, which is communism, fascism, moralism, and... ultra-liberalism.
Yeah.
So it's a really interesting RPG. It's sprawling. It's good. I don't think I've ever finished it.
I haven't finished it.
I mean, I finished it in the fact that I died. Yep. But I've never got to what is the actual end of the game.
The furthest I've got, I think I soft-locked myself once. I got stuck at a point where I couldn't find another way to progress, and I couldn't beat the check.
Yeah.
And I think... No, I did get a bit further than that. I think I've got over the river.
Yes.
Which is like day 3 or 4. And I think that's the furthest I've got. I always mean to go back to it, but there's so many weird things. There's someone in the attic of an abandoned building making dice.
And you're like, I want to go back and find out what's going on here. It's really cool. I really enjoy it. But again, I get distracted in it. And also, it's one of those games that I should never... Don't look at the trophy list for this game. No. You're not going to get the platinum. You're not going to get it.
Mad.
You're just going to have to play the game. And I would advise doing it without looking at any guides. Just go in there and hope for the best.
Yeah.
But you do go, where the fuck now? Because there is real time in the game as well. If you wait too long, I can't work out what to do, wasting time. The day progresses and people will disappear and you can't talk to them. You're like, oh, for fuck's sake.
That kid's named Kuno.
Kuno, that's it. Yeah.
But I will just quickly talk about my favourite check you can do in the game. There's two guys on the edge of the river playing a game with a heavy metal ball.
Oh, yeah.
And they ask you if you want to take part in their game, and you agree, and if you succeed on the check, you throw their ball in the river and they get really mad at you.
Oh my god.
Because that's not what you're meant to do.
You're meant to fuck it up.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
It is Kuno.
So like, are you fucking serious? That was our ball. What are you doing?
I can't believe that you pulled Kuno out of your ass there.
Yeah.
Yes, it is Kuno. And
I remember it because he talks in the third person.
Yeah, Kuno don't like what you're saying.
Yeah.
Kuno's this, Kuno's that.
And I knew it was like 2 syllables. I couldn't fucking place it, but it is Kuno.
Oh my god.
Yeah. But I just Googled about, Kid in Disco Elysium to find the name. The top question is, can you shoot the kid in Disco Elysium?
He's a proper fucking little
He's a real shithead. A real shithead.
Okay. He also accused you of trying to molest him at one point.
You can kill him.
Yeah, I think you could do basically anything.
It ends the game with a thing of burned out cop shoots child.
Yeah.
you get locked up for it. So
whatever you do, you cannot disappoint Kim.
No.
Because he's a good man.
He's a good man. He looks after you. But yeah, Disco Elysium.
Very good.
Keris, what are you championing then?
So my game that I'm championing this month is one that I've talked about before. We've talked about before anyway.
It's a
and
podcast game.
Yeah, it's Alien Isolation. So I'm not gonna spend ages talking about what happens or what it's about, but
it's about being isolated with an alien.
Yes, it is. Believe it or not. And this is why you're the expert.
No, it's about aliens struggling with the idea of being on their own. It's
about aliens during the COVID.
Like crippling depression.
Just sat there with face masks on.
I just feel so alone.
Playing Call of Duty.
Fucking, I feel so seen.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, but basically you play Ellen Ripley's daughter, Amanda Ripley, who is offered some closure in going to find out what happened to her mother on the ship when they find kind of like a transmission from the ship that's been missing for a long time. And she goes on said ship, is basically left there, and it is basically discovered that there are a shit ton of aliens on board the ship.
There are.
It is we discussed whether we thought it was a survival horror or not previously.
It's definitely a survival horror. Yeah.
And this game is you can find my stream of it on YouTube actually, and I think that's a very good representation of just how shit scary this game is. It's super tense all the way through. It doesn't really let you have a minute to breathe in terms of how tense and scary it is.
Yeah, that's why I call my camping shop Super Tense.
Super tense, would you?
Super tense. Oh my god.
It's a really good game.
It is a great game.
A proper spook time.
It is one of those games that I'll be honest with you, up until I think I tried the first part of it a little while back, and it wasn't until we came to do it on the podcast that I played it again, because I was actually like too scared to go back and play it.
I think as well the story of that game is better than you would expect.
Yeah.
I think it's exactly how you'd hope it to be, because if you've seen Alien, you expect a story like this. But if you've seen Alien Covenant, you're like, well, it could be fucking anything.
Yeah.
So it's...
Also, if you've seen most game tie-ins, or movie tie-ins.
That's true.
Like,
I think it's very effective in what it tries to do, which is create a really horrific atmosphere to play in. And
it gets the sort of the feeling of it right, doesn't it? That's you feel like you're in the original Alien film.
And like from the beginning, you are very aware that it's not just the aliens that is the problem. Like, you cannot trust anyone around you at all. So like the isolation part of Alien Isolation is very accurate. I really enjoyed playing it. Yeah, I can't say hand on heart that it's one that I would go through and finish just because it really shits me.
I think you should. Yeah. I mean, what was it? It's your partner's favourite game of all time.
She's planned it. I have like 5 trophies left.
I need to go back and do it as well.
Yeah.
But Maybe this is the time. Maybe this is the time.
Spooky season.
Spooky season. Let's go.
Season. I mean, we've got we got 2 boxes for Alien Isolation in this house. Only 1 disc.
Nice.
God knows where the disc is. The other one is. So the game I'm championing is Elite Dangerous.
Yeah.
Very different style game to what we're talking about. This is a massive space exploration
large
game.
Yep.
It is a 1-for-1 scale open world representation of the Milky Way galaxy.
I'm sorry, say that again.
It is a 1-for-1 scale open world representation of the Milky Way galaxy.
Yeah.
Essentially, they've built the Milky Way galaxy for you to explore.
Listen.
You can play it online in multiplayer, or you can play in your own single one if everyone's griefing you being shits. At this moment, bear in mind the game's been out since 2014?
Around then.
Somewhere around that time. It got kickstarted, all that sort of thing. It's been around for ages, massively on the. I think they've explored only 0.5% of the actual galaxy.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie to you. Like, that sounds like my worst nightmare.
No, but the idea is you're just going out exploring. There's no
You can
real
sort
story.
of just play how you want to play.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like, you can be a bounty hunter, and you can go and get people, you can just fly around, you can play it like it's fucking Euro Truck, and just do deliveries.
Yeah, you can join faction, you can do faction missions, you can do stuff like that. But there's no real set story. It's not like, I have to solve these problems. They're like, no, you're going to go in. It is a lot when you first go in there, because it's a long time to build muscle memory for what you're doing. And then eventually you'll go, oh, cool, I can land the ship fine. I can do this thing. Cool, I'm just going to fly about. They've also got, if you need to go to certain like planets, they've got like this, essentially a convoy system, so you can get picked up and taken there. So there's little bits they've made better. And then recently they released Odyssey as an expansion. I think it's about 2-3 years old now, which allows you to land on planets but also go into a first person combat style thing, so you can interact with people and explore and fire and shit. So they've really built it out, and it looks great, and it's massive, and it really, I would say, potentially is one of the best sort of space exploration sims out there. That being said, there are a lot of problems with this. One, it's quite a lot to take on. I'm also suggesting this to be on console. What are you going to say?
Did they release this on PS Plus this month to coincide with Starfield?
Maybe. I think so. But what's
People
weird...
disappointed that Starfield isn't enough of a space exploration game, and PS Plus is like Elite Dangerous space exploration game.
Which is what I think it looks a lot like. But the problem is, they've now announced they're not supporting console anymore. Yeah. So console's not getting any further because they can't seem to. It seems like the developers have bitten off more than they can chew, and things are being closed down with what they are able to achieve, which is concerning because it's weird. You look online for Elite Dangerous, it is the most loved and most hated game. People love it, but they hate it. Yeah. And there is no sort of in between going, I had a fine time. You don't find people, I had a fine time. You're either going to go in, enjoy 10 hours and just not go back into it, or you're going to play it every day, love what you're playing, and hate everything that's happening at the same time. It's one of those games that I feel like you just have to explore and experience in a group.
I had a good friend of mine in my undergrad who I think picked it up as it came out, and he was in that latter camp. Every day he'd have a new Elite Dangerous story. Like, fucking cool. Yeah. It sounds cool, but it also sounds like I don't have the time. It gives me the same vibe as an MMO does.
Yes.
Where I'm like, I think this is cool, but I also think it would take me so long to get to the point where this is cool. I don't have that time to commit.
Yeah.
It has the same fear of joining like EVE Online has. You know, that sort of thing where you got, oh, cool, we're going to put all this less money put into it. But you're like, fuck me, where do I go? What do I do? Yeah. It feels like what you expect No Man's Sky to be. It feels like what you expect Starfield to be. It feels like all of these, like, was it Rogue Galaxy or something like that?
Something like that.
So you expect it to be like this, but they've done it, but they keep fucking themselves. I think it's one of those games you just need to experience. Is the reason I'm championing it. Whether you want to, cool. But I think go in a group. So should we have a little look at what our actual top 5 games are then?
Yes.
So our top 5. In number 5, we are suggesting Outlast 2.
Spooky game.
Very spooky game.
Not as good as the first Outlast. I haven't played the third one with the Trinity thing that they brought out, but this one was good as well, to be honest. So first person, almost hidden cam, green black, found footage camera thing with real fucked up
another
people.
game that I think I've played 10 minutes of, and it really shit me up. And I actually, this would be a really good time for me to go back and play that, because I'm in the mood for some spooky season games, you know?
In fourth place is Elite Dangerous,
cool.
which we've already discussed. Third place is Callisto Protocol. Now, I think I'm the only one at the table that have played.
I've played a bit of it.
I've not
very
played it.
pretty
I've
game.
watched you play a little bit of
I
it.
bought it and platinumed it,
Yeah.
and I had a good time at points. It's potentially one of the best looking games on PS5. I think the atmosphere is amazing. I think the acting is good. I think it'd be a brilliant TV show. The combat is lacking, and if there is more than a couple of people there, you will get ganked. And
will get
that's
what?
ganked.
So
Ganked.
ganked, Ganked. It's a gaming term for when you have like too many enemies. It was-
Guys, every day is a school day.
It was
We're learning something
It was
new.
popularized by like Dark Souls,
Yeah.
I believe, because they'd have
Ganked.
sections where bosses are just like they throw 5 normal enemies at you.
Oh my
And it's
God.
difficult, not because the enemies are difficult,
Yeah.
but because you cannot react fast enough to
Yeah.
5 sets of attacks.
Oh my God, we need the more you know, Rainbow.
Yes,
Yeah.
but that, essentially this has that problem because it's all to do with dodging and then reacting.
Yeah.
And because if 3 are coming at you, you can't dodge them all, or you dodge into another one to immediately hit you. And it's that sort of thing. But it is a really good looking game, and it's cool. I like the story as well.
Yeah.
I think this would have done a lot better if it didn't get swept up in the hype of being like the headline game at a few award ceremonies leading up to it,
Yeah.
and being like, we had the old like Dead Space team came and made it, and it's got all
Yeah.
these big names in it, and everyone's like hyped for it. If it avoided that entire thing, I think it comes out to a much more positive response.
Also, the fact that Dead Space
Dead Space
Remaster
Remake
came out a month afterwards.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was coming out in the shadow of this thing that was coming beforehand, when really, it sounds awful. I reckon if this remake had come out beforehand, this would have done a lot better.
Yeah, I think it was fine, but it got swept up in everyone thinking it was going to be
Yeah.
the best fucking horror game of the last
I
10 years.
hoped it would be, and
Yeah.
it wasn't. But I still had a good
It's
time.
still
I wasn't
fine.
I wasn't one of those people who shat on it.
This is my day, as always, to complain about the game community. If something's not the best thing that's ever happened, it's absolute dog shit and shouldn't be played.
Also, to get the platinum, you need to do it on the hardest difficulty, and the hardest difficulty is bullshit.
Nice.
Number 2 is Disco Elysium, which is there, and then number 1 is Alien Isolation. And the reason Disco Elysium didn't win is because Keris undersold Disco Elysium.
I'm sorry. I wanted to put the 3 games at the top, which I was
Yeah.
familiar
It's one of those
with.
things where I think, in terms of what we are
it's-
championing, it's not necessarily what the best game is.
Yeah.
But I think collectively, we would, as a collective, have the most positive opinion of Alien.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Followed by Disco Elysium.
I think if you're going by which is the best game that was released this month, I think Disco
Disco
Elysium
Elysium
is the best game. But
Yeah.
I think the one you have most fun with is All of Us. Is Alien
Yeah.
Also, I want to
Isolation.
give a shout out to the game I was originally talking about, as I didn't want to buy it, but I'm interested it's there, is Gotham Knights.
Same. That is the one game that I was like, oh, I can't wait to play this
Yeah,
game.
I had no interest
Didn't
in...
it have like not great?
Yeah.
It's apparently
Fine.
kind of okay.
Okay.
But I just didn't want to pay... I didn't want to pay for it, but
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious.
You can play can you play online with people with it?
I think
as
so,
well?
yeah.
Yeah. So
4-player on co-op.
There you go. You've
I-
got new things
I
to
felt
do.
the same way last month about a worse game, which I might play eventually, which was the Saints Row reboot.
yeah,
It's apparently fine. I don't
Okay.
want to buy it, but fuck it, if it's there.
that was funny enough.
it a
Not,
go.
Why not?
not one of our voted 4 games. The other 4 games we had in like follow-up was Weird West, which looks really cool. Eldest Souls, which we all went, that looks
cool.
fine. House of Ashes, which is meant to be the worst of the. Is it?
No, it's
No.
not. It's
There's
one of the better
Little
ones.
Hope, isn't it? There's
Little
one.
Hope is the worst one. House of
really wanna play
Ashes
House of Ashes.
was apparently
really
like
wanna play it.
it went Until Dawn, then like a cliff lower was Man of Medan,
Yeah.
and then 3 cliffs lower was Little Hope.
And then
I
this
think House
came-
of Ashes is meant to be like
Man of
between
Medan.
Until Dawn and Man of Medan. It's meant to be really good. It's got a really cool setting as
Okay.
well. It's set during the Iraq War.
Yeah.
That's
And I
fun.
think it plays a lot on like claustrophobia of being in these sort of
This would have
desert
been
caves.
higher if Keris had noticed it was on the
I
list.
didn't even
Remembered
notice
it
it was on the
existed.
list, and I was like, "What?" When you
And-
said, I was like, "Oh, what?"
And then Far Changing Tides is the other thing in there. So yeah, most likely Outlast 2 probably wouldn't have been our 5th place. It would have likely been that, but
Yeah.
Keris can't
My
read.
fault. Sorry, can't read.
But yeah, that's the end of another episode. As always, thank you for listening. Really appreciate it. Do check us out on YouTube for a longer version of it, because we do have a YouTube at
Yay.
Discount
We
Pod,
do.
which has all of our streams, longer versions of the episodes, and hopefully some YouTube shorts coming up soon.
Yeah.
We'll see how that works out. We are also on Twitch, as we said. That's where our streams are, which is at Discount Pod again on Twitch. But more importantly, check us out on our socials. That's where you get everything. So that's at Discount Pod. And then we have our individual ones at Discount Josh, Discount Darren, Discount Keris, all with 2 C's in the middle because it's 2 words. It's Disc and Count.
Yeah.
And we're on there fairly frequently. I'm trying to encourage the other 2 to be better on their socials.
Yes, and hopefully by the time this is released, we should have a TikTok as well. We've never really done TikTok before. I don't know if anything will be on there by the time that this is released.
No.
But we'll let you know because that will be coming.
I'm honestly terrified to think how behind I am on Instagram.
Yeah.
Every day I look at my platinum number and I'm like, that's a difference.
I'm terrible with Instagram at the moment. I will be better, guys.
These two are terrible people. That's the takeaway from this week's episode.
Extremely
I'm too busy playing games.
Times. I was too busy doing academic things. I'm
Fucking
sorry.
loser.
What a nerd.
I know. Sorry. But that's
Fucking
done
nerd.
now, so it's
No
it's time
excuses.
to come
No
back.
excuses.
So
Yeah.
let's get off. Let's move on. Thank you all for being our player fours, and
Let's
we'll
get off,
catch you
shall
all
we?
night. Catch you all
Yeah.
night.
Get off!
Let's get off. Catch you all night. Yeah.